It is Saturday, which means we have an overreaction for you.
No.
And it's going to involve some freshman linebackers today on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of Locked On Podcast, or your team every single day. He is Daniel. I am Clint. Thanks for making us your first listen. Every day that are here. Game Time is today's host sponsor.
Game Time.
Appreciate them so much more.
Some of y'all probably used them today.
You did, and we're glad you did.
And you had a great time doing it.
You had a great time. This just in, Georgia Bulldogs.
Mm-hmm. I had a great time.
Very good at football. I had a great time. Kirby Smart knows what he's doing with players. Quite good at the footballing. Guys, just unequivocally, I watched a lot of football. There's a lot of football still to be played. I get that.
Sure.
I understand.
Notre Dame's in a fight for their life right now as we're recording.
Literally. Okay.
Penn State squeaked by Bowling Green this morning.
Bowling Green. For all of you Big 10 and Big 12 fans and just full stop. You have zero business being taken seriously, Brandon Walker.
It's a tough scene.
It's a tough scene. Georgia is the best in all of college football.
That's right.
It's a wide margin.
Accurate. It's a substantial margin. A girthy margin.
A if you will, a Sherpa sized gap between
approximately the size of Ty Ingram Dawkins,
which is he's
substantial.
He's a large human.
Where do you want to start, Clint? Where should we start on this overreaction? Georgia's got the best quarterback in all of college football.
Yep.
They got the best offense in all of college football, led by the best offensive coordinator in all of college football. Georgia's got the best defense in all of college football.
What happened to Georgia Tech and the offensive genius up there?
Georgia's got the best head coach in all of college football.
Yep.
Where should we start in this game?
All of those are great things, Daniel. Literally, every single one of those are fantastic. I couldn't disagree. I couldn't agree with you more. I don't disagree with everything you said. This is overreaction, and so you all might think, okay, Clint, okay. Raylan Wilson is almost past Nakobe Dean's status for linebacker at Georgia. He has to go perform for the time, but I'm telling you, skill-wise, Roquan Smith is the GOAT. Okay?
Sure.
Raylan Wilson coming. And he's the best linebacker on this team. He's the best linebacker in the SEC. He's the best linebacker in any freaking conference and on any team in America. If he's on your team, you instantly go up a tier of defense, no matter who you are. He is faster than fast, intellectual, instinctual. He's my favorite player on this defense, and notable KJ Bolden fan president.
Yeah, Malachi Stark still plays. Let me check my notes. Malachi Stark's still here. CJ Allen, Clint's favorite Georgia player of all time, I've been told.
Last year.
Still here. This CJ Allen, Raylan Wilson, Smile Mondin situation that's going on right now. The easy comp, right, is Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker, Channing Tindall. I mean, we've seen this movie before. There are three of them, and they all are the best player on the team. That's in any given day, any one of them could win you the football game. And that was evidenced multiple times over the course of that 2021 season when on any given day, each one of them won you the football game. Let me explain to you the fundamental difference between this situation, while although similar, why it is not at all that situation. It is because not one, but two of these individuals are true sophomores, Clint, which means they're not going anywhere for a while. Raylan Wilson and CJ Allen are going to be playing football side by side in a Georgia G next year. The rest of this year, And next year,
The law
as well.
stipulates they must.
They don't. I mean, they could transfer, I guess, but why in the world would they?
Why?
It is an embarrassment of riches on this Georgia defense. Now, I need Georgia. By the way, Georgia is going to put the biggest butt whooping of all time on Kentucky next week. Just get ready for a week's worth of shows on me dunking on Clint for all the times he has been scared of Kentucky because
you can dunk
this year. Yeah,
you can dunk. I haven't said one thing about Stoops in Kentucky this year, Daniel.
You ain't scared of Kentucky this year. Georgia's going to annihilate Kentucky. Once we get through the Alabama game, I'll be ready to tell. I told you last week on the Overreaction show that this Georgia defense was more fun to watch than the 2021 defense.
Yeah.
It was Tennessee Tech. I get it.
Sure.
I am creeping towards my next statement. And my next statement you will find to be more offensive than my previous statement. If you did not like me saying this team is more fun to watch than the 2021 team,
people didn't like that.
You will hate it when I tell you in a couple weeks that I think this defense is better than the 2021 defense. Full stop. We still need to see it in the big games on the field, validated by performance. Check back with me on September 29th. But I'm here to tell you, on September 28th on the Overreaction show, I'm here to tell you I'm probably going to get on that show and tell you that this defense is the best Georgia defense of all time.
Likely.
And it's, listen, I just don't know how you're going to argue with me. The front seven is elite. Jonell Aguero is him.
Okay.
The safeties, the corners, Clint, are the corners any good, Clint? Can the corners play at all a little bit, Clint? Okay. We got more we're going to discuss. We'll be back right after these. Overreacting our brains out about this Georgia-Tennessee Tech game. But first, these.
These are, in fact, LinkedIn jobs, linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Right now, you might be hiring and needing somebody to come out for your company, or you may be looking for a company to go over to. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, I need to get on the best team. How do I hit the portal, and how does Kirby Smart develop me into the best version of myself?
Kirby Smart would have recruited you out of high school, but
the inn is full.
Yeah.
And so you could try. And if anybody was going to be able to do that for you, it would be LinkedIn. They could get it done because they're fantastic. Millions and millions of people are over there right now getting the jobs that they prefer. And teams are over there getting people that they need to continue to be better and outperform the rest of the competition. LinkedInjobs.com is where you need to go. They have artificial intelligence to help you make descriptions, to help get the right candidates. Most people that post their job get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. LinkedIn.com/lockedoncollege. Go there right now. Post your job for free. That's post your job for free. LinkedIn.com/lockedoncollege. Daniel, let's continue overreacting. Where do you want to go next on this team?
Listen, I told you not to sleep on, what did I say? Eight different guys catching a touchdown pass.
You said that.
I was not correct about that. It was only 5 different guys who caught a touchdown pass in this game. Carson Beck, 18-24, 250, 5 touchdowns to 5 different receivers. 15 guys caught a ball in this game. I said it last time. I'll say it again. This offense is specifically geared to utilize Carson Beck's skill set and his strength. His skill set, yes, he has a rocket arm. Yes, he is mobile in the pocket. Carson Beck works the pocket better than any quarterback in all of college football.
With ease, too. He doesn't make it look herky-jerky.
Oh, he's fluid. He's fluid.
Oh my gosh, it's so
He
fluid.
senses pressure. Listen, this offensive line is very good. But there's a reason Carson Beck hadn't been sacked in 100 years. It's part of that's because of Carson Beck. He senses pressure. He knows where it's coming from. He works the pocket. Again, he's 18-25 for 250, 5 touchdowns. The best part about Carson Beck's game is his ability to read defenses and hit the open man. It doesn't matter where they are on the route tree. It doesn't matter if it's option 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Carson Beck's going to get to him, and he's going to get to him quick because Carson Beck's going to see pre-play that my number 3 read is going to be open on this play. So all of a sudden, my number 3 read is going to become my number 1 read because I know that 1's going to be covered up and 2's going to be covered up and 3's going to be the guy that gets open. This offense, the reason it doesn't matter, and I'm not saying this to disparage the kid. If Gunnar Stockton was a starting quarterback at Georgia, Georgia would need an elite playmaking wide receiver like Brock Bowers to bail, to be his security blanket.
Yeah.
We would need that. The reason Georgia doesn't need that, and the reason no one on this team caught more than 4 passes, and 15 different guys caught a ball in this game, is because Carson Beck's skill set is exactly that. Having a bunch of guys who are ready. Now, Georgia's not going to have 15 guys catch a ball next week at Kroger Field, but they're going to have 8 or 9 catch a ball next week at Kroger Field.
Yeah.
And it's going to be spread around from person to person. That's the beauty of this Georgia offense. It is Mike Bobo and Carson Beck in a beautiful dance that just makes defenses look silly by scheming guys open and by finding the open man.
You can't take one thing away from Georgia's offense and say, now I can get after you.
Exactly.
You can't do it. That is what Kirby Smart wants. No weaknesses in. He doesn't want any openings in the chainmail. That's what he wants, and that's what he has in this offense. Carson Beck is that ability to process things so well, so blatant is his ability to do so and to read and to get what the defense is giving him. It's unbelievable.
You want a prime example of what Clint just said? Clemson sold out to take away Georgia's run game last week, and they held us to 6-0 in the first half.
And then what happened?
And then they got destroyed in the second half because that's what this Georgia team's going to do. They're just going to move on to the next thing and keep beating us. Great point, Clint.
So love that fact. Colby Young is just a touchdown magnet. Okay.
He going to catch a lot of touchdown balls.
Maybe
no other passes this season. Maybe 0 other passes.
I don't want to so far. Daniel, I do want to. It's overreaction. I am going to toot my own horn. Preseason showed up and I said, Colby Young may have 20 catches on the entire year and he's going to lead this team in touchdown receptions.
Yeah.
And I stand by it. That may be he may have 20 receptions and 14 of them may be for touchdowns this year. Because when you get inside the red zone, Carson Beck, he does look for him, but not in the way that he's forcing it. Mike Bobo knows, everybody knows. We might do some sort of a little misdirection to get him open on the backside, throw it up there and see what happens. There was a little.
He tried to throw him that back shoulder later in the game. He tried to hit him on that back shoulder, and
that was a run play that Carson
wasn't called.
And said, and there was defensive holding on that. Colby Young is just a vacuum for touchdowns, and man, we haven't seen that type player at UG in a hot minute.
Mm-hmm. And see, that, Clint, is what I've been saying. This Georgia team is as or more talented than any team in the country. Okay? Yep. You keep Ohio State. Georgia's as or more talented than any team in the country. There won't be a single game this year that Georgia is outmatched in. Which means, just like last year, this season is going to come down to a handful of moments. And one of the most important moments in some of these road games and some of these close games and some of these big games that Georgia's going to have to play is going to be the ability to convert touchdowns in the red zone. When you're on the road against Texas, an offense that can clearly score a bunch of points. They hung 30 plus on Michigan in the Big House today.
Yep.
When you're on the road against Texas, you're not going to beat them kicking field goals. I don't care how good your defense is. You're not going to beat Texas kicking field goals. You got to convert touchdowns in the red zone. Same against Alabama. Same in the SEC championship game against Tennessee later in the year. You need to be able to convert in these high leverage moments. And yes, Georgia is plural on offense at wide receiver. They are diverse.
Yep.
But they also have guys like Colby Young that are force feed go-to weapons in certain spots, like in the red zone, like at the goal line. And that is a really helpful thing for Kirby Smart and company to be able to have. Because now not only do you have a big, strong physical offensive line that you could turn to when you're first and goal from the 9, you can lean on that big, strong physical offensive line and hand the ball off. But you can also throw that back shoulder, throw that little crossing route to Colby Young on the back of the end zone, the little in route. You've got options. You've got weapons. It's what makes this Georgia offense so tremendously difficult to stop.
Before we go to break, again, Kirby Smart does not make his base and his foundation on team in the transfer portal. He dips in it for a guy like Colby Young.
No, he sees a need and he addresses it.
We have Frazier, who is by all accounts incredible and should progress quite nicely into a best SEC running back, best national running back.
Couple years. Give him a couple years. Yeah,
he'll be there. Branson Robinson looked to be the part again today. Daniel, he came back and he showed us he's fine. He's just fine. Plugging in there. But Kirby dipped into the portal and said, "How about I just take the best offensive weapon in the SEC? If you want to name one, offensive all around weapon, Etienne is that." And we saw his breakout performance. What was his average again, Daniel, per carry?
He averaged 15.6 yards per carry.
Okay.
Is that good?
Is that any
good?
Best quarterback who processes and is able to find the shots and spots with a red zone guy that you can force the ball into if you need be, and a running back who is averaging a first down and a half every time he touches the ball.
Yeah, he also had 2 catches for 14 yards. So
stop me if you find a weakness that you can exploit.
Hey, Chip. Trevor Etienne played today.
Huh.
Chip. Did you watch?
Did you watch?
He played.
Ask Kirby what made him decide to go ahead and start Etienne. I freaking dare you.
Gosh. We got more that we're gonna discuss. We got freshmen to talk about. We got third stringers to talk about. Clint, okay. I saw some people today that opened my eyes in some significant ways. And we will discuss all of that and more right after these.
But these are, in fact, Game Time. Download the Game Time app today. Head on over there. Daniel and I use Game Time exclusively.
Kroger Field. Not Kroger many Field. Seats at Kroger Field. You got to get on the app.
Has that, like, there's no 300 level. I think it's just the 1, the 200, and then the 300 is just open air, I think, at Kroger Field.
What's a high school stadium? So
yeah.
They're playing like a high school team today at time of this recording.
Getting the pants beat off of them by the illustrious Shane Beamer. But don't worry, Game Time, if you want into the stadium at Kroger Field, Game Time can get you into that stadium. We know it. You know it. Go get them right now. Game Time app lets you see the views from your seat. They have last-minute deals. They have exclusive opportunity for you to get in. Game Time is fantastic. Go to the Game Time app today. Lowest price guaranteed. If not, if you find a lower price somewhere else, they're going to give you 125% of that value straight to you. But don't worry, they're going to beat anybody's price all the way up into kickoff, all the way up into Game Time. Game Time app. Download the Game Time app today. Locked On College, $20 off your first order. That's use promo code Locked On College. $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Daniel.
All right, Clint. There's so many names of people that we could get to in this episode. So many people showed us something. Let's focus on some reserves that came into the game. We saw a lot of people, as I mentioned, 15 people caught a ball today. A lot of defensive players found their way into the game. A lot of tackles were registered in this game. Yeah. Who's a guy that stood out to you in this game and why?
It was interesting to me. There's a number of names. Okay, so but the one that leapt out to me, Freeling was playing left tackle early on in this game, Daniel. Now, I don't know why. Ernest Green
did come back. He did come back after this. It wasn't like he got benched or anything.
No. But there was a rotation. Freeling is a now looked at lineman in the rotation. Micah Morris out at left guard quite a bit in this game, Daniel. It's interesting to me that when we came out of camp, there were 6 names. Now there seems to be more than 6 names on
There's
that list.
definitely 7 names.
And it's interesting. Freeling is getting his spots. I just take notice of things. And all I can say is that's a good problem to have. It's not a bad problem.
It's a very good problem to have because injuries on the offensive line, we know far too well, are a thing. They are going to happen, and we need to be prepared for them. I'm going to go to the defensive line. You mentioned it before the break. The freshman Jordan Thomas comes into the game, and he was quite effective against the Tennessee Tech offensive line. This is a big, strong, physical dude. You saw Jarrett get some snaps. You saw Thomas get some snaps. You saw a lot of young defensive linemen rotating in through the game. Games like this are exciting. They're interesting because you get to see some of these guys. Who knows what they're going to become? But it is noteworthy that, you don't see every freshman in the game. You certainly don't see every freshman in the game making flash plays. And so it does give you a bit of an idea of who's kind of, at least at this moment, on the coach's radar of being one of those next guys up. Now, I don't expect Jordan Thomas to really contribute to the team in the grand scheme of things this year, but it was noteworthy to me that he got in the game. And then, I'll just keep saying, Chris Cole and Justin Williams have my heart. I spent a long time talking about these 3 middle linebackers and how exciting it is that Raylan and CJ Allen are coming back. It's all very exciting.
Yep.
The 2 guys behind them, I'm just telling you now. I'm telling you now so that you aren't surprised later as if I did something unexpected.
This is the official stance of Locked On Bulldogs jointly, by the way. This is stamped official.
The 2 guys behind them are going to make you forget them
real
quicker than you thought you were going to. You understand how long you thought you were going to hold on to Roquan Smith? You like forever. This was a forever thing. You made a commitment for the rest of your life.
I would buy a Roquan Smith jersey. He's my favorite Georgia player of all time.
Yeah. Nakobe Dean comes along, and all of a sudden, Roquan fades a little bit. It just fades in your mind a little bit. CJ Allen last year comes along, and now, hello, look at this. Raylan Wilson this year comes along, and now all of a sudden, these guys, Chris Cole and Justin Williams, are a problem. And when they're on the field together in a couple of years, they will be first-team All-American. Georgia might have 2 first-team All-American linebackers lined up next to each other.
Justin Williams is Patrick Willis incarnate. He is big, fast, menacing. The dude's shoulders,
the neck roll.
Yeah. That dude doesn't care a thing about anything besides coming downhill and making tackles for losses. There ain't a, hey, let me scrape, let me go ahead and let me erase. He's not an eraser, okay? He's an instigator. There's a difference.
He's coming in to mix things up. He's
bringing the pain to you. Okay?
He wants the action. You understand?
Yeah.
He's not trying to shut things down. He's trying to ramp things up.
No, you don't want the smoke. He's like, no, trust me.
No, I'm lighting a fire.
Actually, as a matter of fact, I brought the gasoline. Like, let's go. It's quite incredible what those 2 linebackers can do, Daniel.
We got more thoughts and takeaways from this game. It's officially Kentucky week. We will be on to that opponent. We'll have other thoughts and reactions from this game. We'll be back on Monday.
Some South Carolina.
We're gonna have some things. Once the South Carolina score goes final, we will have some things to say about Kentucky and Brock Vanderlei of Vanderlei Industries.
He exported himself right into a bad situation.
He went and laid an egg today. It was not great.
No.
He's Clint. I'm Daniel. We're the Locked On Bulldogs podcast, and we'll see you guys on Monday.
See you.